Welcome back to another episode of You Centered Podcast. Rick Gorman here once again, and I'm very happy to have a great guest, my assistant director here at the Youth Center, Demi Tetrault. Demi, welcome and thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Rick. I appreciate you pronouncing my last name correctly after 20 years of knowing me.
Well, it does take some time. Today we're going to talk about summer programs. We're going to try to answer everybody's questions by you talking a little bit about our programs, what we do, how to do it, what's still available, and then we're going to get into what I consider the real meat of it in terms of everything around kids having anxiety showing up for our activities, our collaboration with special ed, etc. So I was hoping you could give our listeners a little bit of a breakdown of what we're offering for 2018.
Sure. So I think to start out, I'll kind of talk about our just our mainstay programs that we've offered for many years now. We have our summer fun programs, and those start at kindergarten, and this is the current grade that the children are in this year, which is always a question that's asked. So current grade 2017, 2018, grades K through 2, which has been at Atkinson for the past, how many years, Rick?
28 years.
28 years, and we're actually moving to Sargent this year due to construction at Atkinson. That program feeds into our Summer Fun Drummond program, which is for current grades 3 through 5, which is held here at the Youth Center out at Drummond Field and inside the building. And then we have our Sports and Rec program that's held up at Reynolds. That's for girls and boys in grades 6 through 8. We also have our Summer League basketball programs, played at the Youth Center a couple days a week, and that's also middle schoolers. Separate divisions for 6th grade boys, 7th grade boys, 8th grade boys, and then a division for 6th through 8th grade girls. We also have a high school summer league program that Kyle will be running this year, where the high schoolers can submit teams, come up with a team with their friends, and play in a 5-versus-5 league here one night a week in the summer. And then we also have just a ton of programs for middle schoolers, all different skills, to learn all different sort of likes and things like that. We have archery, we have fishing, ropes course, field trips like Canopy Lake Park that only have a few spots left, camping trip. And then we have a few sold out programs, but I'll still mention them anyway. And that's our community service programs for girls, which is Step Up, for boys, which is Night Work, and our Girls Week and Boys Week programs, which are incredibly popular and sold out in, I think, the first day this year.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing how fast some of these programs sell out. So for people registering, the old days we used to have a line out the door at 9 a.m. on the first Monday in April. Used to stretch all the way down to the vans and people would sign up. We now obviously have come into the 21st century these last number of years, and talk a little bit about how someone could register at our door, but also our online registration.
Sure. So we offer both. In-person registration is cash or check at the Youth Center, and we also have online registration now for the past probably 3 or 4 years. You can register using a checking account or any credit card except Visa, for whatever reason. And that online registration link you can get on our website, and everything that's available to register here at the Youth Center, you can also register online. One quick tip about that I get a lot of questions about, register your child as a participant after signing into the online registration, and then you will be able to see the programs that are offered.
So online registration has been a great thing for us here at the Youth Center, but also for parents that obviously can't get down to the Youth Center and sign up in person. So that's been great. Talk a little bit about, I did try to convince Superintendent Jen Price to finish school a little bit earlier due to this crazy weather we've had this winter. After going to 7 weeks last year, we have to go back to our original 6 weeks. Can you talk a little bit about that, and have we gotten many questions about that?
We haven't actually gotten many questions about that, but last year was our first year to extend out to 7 weeks. That was just based on popular feedback from parents. We went 7 weeks last year, went really well, and we will definitely be going back to that next year, of course, if the weather complies.
So school gets out on Wednesday. We'll give the kids a couple of days to relax, and then we'll kick into gear with most of our programs starting that following Monday. You talked a little bit about some of our really popular programs, in particular the Girls Week program, which sold out in 4 hours. This is a group that we've done a couple of weeks during the summer where we take 10 to 15 girls. You came up with at one point I thought was a wild idea of renting a yellow bus and taking as many girls as possible. So as Demi does. Demi did some great research, worked with the bus company, and happy to announce that we are doing one girls' week this year, and we're taking 45 girls. We've never taken this many kids before. And Demi, you're going to be running this. Tell people a little bit about why so popular and sold out in 44 hours, 45 kids. Explain that.
Sure. So I think probably, Rick, the main draw is that I'm the one running it. And of course, the kids want to hang out with Demi. No, I'm just kidding. But this has been a really popular program for the past several years. It's kind of my baby. I've grown it over the years. Last year, I ran 3 of the programs. Actually, Michaela stepped in to run one of the 3. But we were only able to take 13 girls on each trip, and there was always a wait list. So I added a 3rd week last year, and it just kind of dawned on me this year to try to expand it just the 1 week and be able to take 45 girls. And it is I think parents have likened it to buying concert tickets online when trying to sign up for the program at 9 a.m. on Monday. But we got 45 girls in, and we do have a wait list. So if anyone happens to drop out, the people on the wait list will be getting a phone call to step into the week. And for the people signed up, super excited about it. We'll do a hike, a beach day, launch trampoline park, ton of fun stuff like that.
And Justin is running a Boys Week too, and Boys Week has been successful also over many years. We're not taking 45, but we're taking a good group of 15 kids. And tell us a little bit about the Boys Week program.
Sure. So Justin's running Boys Week this summer. That's also sold out with a wait list. And Justin does a lot of adventure stuff. So I think they'll be doing paintball, ropes course, fishing, all that fun outdoor stuff too.
So Summer Fun is an amazing concept that we started 28 years ago. Started out with just working with probably about 40 kids. We took the playground concept that most towns had in the 70s and 80s and basically looked, instead of having kids at certain playgrounds, by bringing them together by age group at certain sites. So we have 2 sites. One, as you said, we're going to be working with Principal Leahy and have been gracious to allow us to move our youngest summer fun program to the Sergeant School, and then our second one obviously is held here at the Youth Center. It has anywhere between 200 to 350 kids that sign up for the programs. What is the phenomenon of summer fun, and how do you see it growing with all the years that you've been here? Because you were originally one of our counselors.
Sure. I do get a lot of questions about how long I've been at the youth center, and I actually started here in 2004. I was a summer fun counselor, and it was popular then and it's popular now. And I think a big thing for the kids is the high school staff that works here. I know Rick and I do a pretty good job of picking the staff. We have some amazing kids to choose from, and they just make every half day here at the youth center over at Atkinson, now Sargent, just the best day for these kids.
Yeah, it really is. And what's amazing to me is the last number of years, the kids that we hire for our summer counselors were all kids that came through Summer Fun, and it's pretty nice to see it grow the way it has. Also, another mainstay that's been going on for just about as much as the Summer Fun program is the Joe Walsh Summer League, named after one of our mentors and one of the great guys from North Andover, Joe Walsh. And it's basically a basketball league, unique in the fact that the kids coach themselves. They play 2 days a week. We have it by grades: 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade boys. And then we do have a combined grade with the girls. And last year we were kind of sad because we didn't have enough girls playing, so we didn't have the girls grade this year. But we're hoping to really get that back. What's that whole concept like in the youth center Monday through Thursday in the afternoons?
The afternoons here are pretty exciting for the Joe Walsh League. Rick knows this very well, but I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I do venture into the gym in the summer to watch these games, and the kids just have so much fun with it. It's competitive, but like Rick said, they coach themselves. They each have a captain on the team, and it's just run really well by the kids, by the high school and college staff that run it. And I will say one time I did venture in during an intense game and I got a basketball thrown in my stomach, but I'm not holding it against anyone.
Kyle Palladino will be coordinating that with our high school. A couple of our high school basketball players act as the refs. And it is a great activity. The best thing about it is it's not just your best players. So you'll have kids that played in the travel program, kids who played in the recreation program, kids that have just moved to our town that love basketball, and it's a great way to enjoy. We play for about 7 weeks during the summer, so obviously we're looking forward to that. You know, some of these other field trips we got, amazing how fast they're filling up. What would be your suggestion to some of these parents that maybe are hearing this for the first time? We do start our sales that first Monday in April. We just had a staff meeting today and talked about how the sales are going, and what do you say to those parents that really haven't registered yet?
So, of course, we do have a few that are sold out that will probably always sell out on the first day, but we are able to take so many kids into those summer fun and sports and rec programs that you can just get online and get registered. We are seeing very high numbers at this point, though, for those sites, so I would say get on and register soon. One program that does actually have a couple spots left that I should mention is Rad Kids, that's run by the police department. It is a self-defense course. There's 2 different age groups, grades K through 2 and 3 through 5. And I spoke to Officer Caffrey today, and they still have a few spots left in each of those. They're free. It's a week long, and you can sign up through Kara, and her email address is on our website under summer programs.
And we have everything uploaded and up to date on our website in terms of what we're offering and what's left. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
And obviously you and Laura do an outstanding job with our social media, and we're trying to update people on a regular basis how the sales are going. A lot of people think Summer Fun doesn't sell out, but I would not wait until June. I would get your registrations in now and take care of it, so make sure you can have a great summer with us. Let's talk a little bit about our staff. You touched on it. I've been doing this a long time, and we started a number of years ago about doing a training program for our high school and college kids. Each year it's evolved into a better training, a longer training, a more in-depth training, and we're excited about this year. Last year we had our first overnight training where we took 100 plus of the staff that we're having and trained them on everything from, you know, the activities and what it means to be passionate and what the job entails, all the way down to working with great people from North Andover Public Schools on how to deal with some of our difficult kids and relationship building. So when you see this, and we're in the middle of it right now, trying to pick our staff for the summer, and we have so many applicants, so many great kids. I wish we could hire them all, but obviously we got some tough decisions to make. But you talked a little bit about it. Why is it that our staff is what makes this go?
I think that the kids themselves, the staff, are such amazing people. We see a lot of them maybe throughout the school year volunteering for us, and we get to know them. But also the things like the training session where Rick just makes it really clear that what we do over the summer, it can really change kids' lives. And I think that the high schoolers and college kids who work for us, if they're just starting, they may not realize that going in, but they realize it pretty quickly. And I think by the end of the summer, a lot of them say to us, when you said to us at the training that we would change kids' lives, maybe I didn't believe it, but now I do. And they really rise to that challenge to make a difference in these kids' lives, and they do an amazing job with it.
We have a great mix of age. Some of our younger counselors usually have to finish their sophomore year in high school, and then some of our older ones usually up around their sophomore year of college before they head off to an internship or whatever. This week we announced our administrative team, again, which helps make this goes. At Summer Fun K through 2, Nicole Sharp, who's a teacher in Haverhill, who's grown up in our program, will be coordinating that. And she will be assisted by Sabrina Freilich. She will also be assisted by Kyle Solois, and she will also be assisted by Taylor Landers, who are moving from Drummond down to Atkinson. A really good administrative team that'll work with Nicole. Up here at the Drummond site, we will have another educator, Madeline McCoy, who's grown up in our program is a teacher. She will be coordinating Drummond again, and she's going to have some great assistance this year also. Jake Burkhart, we're actually moving up from the Atkinson site that we had last year up to Drummond. And then we had two great promotions with Asia Valdez and Gigi Castellanos, who will be taking care of a lot of the assistant work at the Drummond. Up at Sports and Rec, we had to say goodbye to two great coordinators over the last couple of years, John Bedreau and Olivia Robinson. But we're pretty excited. We have Matt Wolfington and Devin Sportelli that are going to be leading the charge up there. So we're loving who we picked as our coordinators, and we're getting excited over the next 4 weeks of picking all the staff that will work with that. We do have a theme every year, and this is probably our 4th year of having a theme. Why don't you tell our listeners what this year's theme is and how we came about it?
Sure. So Rick has put a focus in the past few years of coming up with a theme. Kind of gives the counselors something to rally around, and it really helps kind of with the passion level every day at the summer fun program and just throughout all of our summer programs. So he kind of put it out to our full-time staff to come up with a theme, and some of the part-time staff were included. And this year's theme is Every Kid Counts, which means exactly what it says, that every kid counts in our summer programs. We're all inclusive, and we want to make sure that every kid has an amazing summer here.
And that's a great lead, and there'll be a lot of parents that, we just talked about how to register, what we're offering or whatever, but for some parents, there is some anxiety from the parental side, but also some anxiety from the kids about coming to a summer program. Maybe they don't know kids. Maybe they're from a certain part of town and they're going to be coming into a program that has kids from all over town. We've done some great work in trying to make sure that we don't lose any kids. So my staff has heard over the years, like, every kid that comes day one, we want them to be there on the last day. And if we see kids that may be anxious or kids that seem like they want to withdraw from the program, we really put it on our staff to, support these kids. Can you share a little bit about that? You've been hands-on with, basically helping parents and kids, get away from that anxiety.
Sure. So I think the best thing for me is when parents come to me with these concerns, because we're easily able to take care of these concerns. The communication between myself and parents has been great lately. I've had people come to me over phone call, email, just saying that they have a child who maybe has anxiety about attending a summer program or anxiety in general, and they're not sure how the child's going to do at summer fun. And just knowing these things off the bat, I think I can help kind of make sure that the parents know that we will do everything that we can to make it an enjoyable summer. And when we share this information maybe with specific staff members who we know will be helpful with this particular child, the staff members completely rise to the occasion. And there's a certain instance last year that I'm thinking of perfectly, where this child did not want to come, was nervous about coming every day and participating in the stations or the transitions between the stations, and the counselors really just made it a mission to make this child have an amazing summer.
You know that I've been a big proponent that all of our programs, not just our summer programs, have to be all inclusive. We want all kids here, all types of kids, and we want to work with kids that maybe people don't think that this program's built for. So last year, Donna Strait, special ed director from the North Andover Public Schools, and myself had a great meeting and figured out how we could kind of incorporate some of the kids that are in the North Andover Public Schools special ed program. And we did that last year. We had a number of kids both at our Drummond site and at last year's Atkinson site. The public school under Donna and Jen Price provided some staffing from the school department that did a great job actually training our kids on how to deal with maybe a different type of a kid, a different challenging kid. And that helped us with all kids, quite frankly. And so we had a staff member on site that worked with us, and we're really excited to continue that into year 2 this year, because we do want it to be a place that all kids can go to, and it can be a great place for all kids. We talk a little bit about all of our part-time staff. How crazy is the summer for our full-time staff?
The craziest. Every season here is busy, but the summer is probably the most busy, but it's also the most fun. We're, spread out from Stevens Pond to the Common for common shows to all of our sites for summer fun. So we always have our full-time staff members are bopping around, checking out everything while also running our own programs for our own middle school kids here. But it's busy, but good busy, and it's chaotic, but controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos is what we talk it. You brought up Stevens Pond. Stevens Pond is one of the jewels of North Andover. It has been the bathing beach for over 60, 70 years now. The youth center has actually been running it since the early 2000s, and I'm excited that once again another public school educator, Kelly Ray, will be back for another year of being the director of the pond. Kelly is an amazing educator, but she's also an amazing person in working with our residents, and she leads a crew of lifeguards and gate attendants down at the pond, and we're really excited. If you haven't been to our ponds, you really need to check it out. We've done so much work over the last 10 years. A new facility, playground, new landscaping. We did the parking lot over. A lot of work we've done with the water quality, with the great work from the Department of Public Works, and we get new beach sand every year, and it's a great place for kids to learn how to swim, for families to hang out there and enjoy the summer. This year we're excited. We're going to be adding a couple of other things to maybe get some of our older kids to want to participate down there. We're going to be having a company come in that's going to actually be doing some work with some paddleboard yoga. We're actually hoping to also have some kayaks and canoes down for our residents to use while they're at the pond. And we're looking at just new ways to try to make this a place that our residents want to go to. Now, obviously, people have lots of choices, but for a lot of our residents, Stevens Pond is the place they want to be during the summer, so we're really excited about that. Getting back to our part-time staff again, the process that we do in terms of hiring, what should a lot of those kids that apply, what should they expect to hear or not hear in the next month or so?
Sure. So I would say anyone who has applied, just look out on the email that you had listed on your application. Keep a look on that. We know that not all high schoolers check their email as often as we do, but we send out emails to the people who have been accepted around mid-May at the latest.
We spend a lot of time selecting our staff, and I do want to be clear with people because, again, when I look at all of these applicants, read them all yesterday, all great kids. We do need to look at different age groups. We need some of our experienced people back. We always like to bring on a fair amount, and we look like we'll have at least 20 new people starting this year. We need to be gender balanced in terms of, male and female. We need to take a look at some people's skill sets that really could help us in the program. So there's a lot of things we really take a look at it, and I think when you look at our staff, it's a real visual of what our community looks like, and we do a great job with that training, and it all ends with we have a bit of a ceremony with our staff at the end of the summer. And what's that like after you've been watching that for a little bit? What's that ceremony like when it's all said and done?
Usually I cry, but I cry at most things. It's a really nice chance for, I think, the staff and for us to reflect on just highlights of the summer and what it meant to the kids, what they did for those kids over the summer, basically, kind of going off into the rest of their summer or into the school year, just feeling positive about a job well done.
It's truly rewarding for myself to watch the growth in our staff members over the course of the summer. It's not just a job, and we tell that to the kids who apply. You need to be passionate. You got to obviously love kids, and you want to make a difference in a kid's life. And as you said earlier, when we say that at the training, I get a lot of quizzical looks from kids, and then at the end, like you said, I get a number of kids that come up, like you said, and I didn't know what you meant when you said it, but I know it now. And this little ceremony that we have has become pretty powerful, and the amount of, you're not the only one crying, most people are, and it's a chance for them to really not just have a summer job, but a chance to give back to their community in particular. Most of these kids, like I said, have grown up in our program, and they're now giving back and being counselors, and just seeing the growth with all of them over the years is incredible. And We also say goodbye to some people at the end of the summer that probably won't be back with us next year. We really encourage a lot of our college kids to move on into their field, and that tends to be some kind of an internship or a practicum. But they always have a hard time leaving this job because, as I tell them at the training, when it's all said and done, when they get to be my age, they're going to look back and think this was probably one of the best jobs they ever had. So I think that, we're really looking forward to that thing. What else do you think you'd want to say to some of our parents? Anything else that they need to know as we get into this whole registration period?
I think the main thing would just be to keep an eye on our website, and our social media is constantly updated. We're posting multiple times a day. If you visit our website at nayouth.com or any of our social media, we're at NA Youth Center. And then I can always be reached over email or phone at the Youth Center with any questions.
Besides all the stuff we've talked about, we're also in charge of running the children's shows on the Common. So every Tuesday and Thursday for 6 weeks during the summer, Alexa Keating will be my coordinator down there, and we will be bringing in a lot of different magicians and jugglers and comedian type things. And yes, Wayne from Maine will be back for the 30th straight year. Wayne from Maine guarantees like 400 residents getting on the Common. I still don't quite understand the concept of Wayne from Maine, but he is extremely popular. And then on Sunday nights, Asia Valdez and Kyle will be coordinating our Sunday night concerts on the Common, which have been going on for 25 years now. At 6 o'clock on Sunday nights during the summer for 8 Sundays. We'll have all different types of bands, all different genres that our residents would like. And it's a great place to be. It's 6 o'clock to sundown on Sunday nights. And again, some great support from businesses that have helped support this program for the last couple of years. The money that we raise during our brook skating during the winter actually goes to help pay for the children's shows and the concerts on the Common. We will be sending out our annual letter to businesses to also help maybe sponsor one of the shows. So that'll be coming out in the mail in the next month or so. So overall, it's going to be a great summer. We do call it controlled chaos because that's really what it is. If you go to our website, we have a great YouTube video that was put together a couple of years ago. Give you and your child an idea of what a day would be like here. But obviously, Demi and my full-time staff always available here if you have any questions about our summer programs and what we're going to be doing. And it's a great time of the year for us. It's school's out, and we try to just have an unbelievable experience for everybody involved. Any final words from you, Dem, on what we're expecting?
Expecting a great summer. Hashtag every kid counts. And I appreciate you having me on the podcast, Rick. I know I'm not a professional like you, but I hope I did all right.
You did all right, Dem, and obviously we appreciate you coming on. Next week, we'll be back with another podcast. Thank you for all of the great suggestions we've had and topics. We got some great feedback from last week's podcast with Andy Van Horn on building team culture. I'm sure we'll get some great feedback because Demi is one of the favorites in the community here, and could not do my job without Demi. She's an amazing assistant director, and if you haven't met her, you will meet her if you're involved with the youth center because she is just about everywhere. So once again, obviously, thanks to NAYCAM for helping us with our podcast. And as we end every week, too much passion is never enough passion.